Hi, I've spent a week in North Asia, Taiwan, Korea, Hong Kong. A real sense of reopening here, actually. In Hong Kong, obviously, the opening of the mainland has been a real watershed. You can visibly feel the difference and see it. And in Taipei, the week I've been there was the week the mask mandate was lifted. So a real sense of celebration, I suppose you'd say. Wherever I go, though, two big issues on the minds of both investors and businesses: interest rates and geopolitics. For investors, the discussion on interest rates is still dominated by this idea of terminal, and we can all debate where interest rates get to, but I think I worry about the term terminal because it implies a sense of rates going up and then coming back down, whereas I think most of what we're likely to see in terms of interest rate hikes from here are likely to be sustained. I don't think we should be thinking about an interest rate cycle which has a quick peak and then a decline. I think interest rates are staying up. For businesses, interest rates are, of course, a focus as they think about the sustainability of their debt. Maybe the good news is very little talk about weaker demand. Lots of challenges for business, but most on the input side: interest rates, getting the right labour at the right price, getting a sustainable supply of raw materials at the right price. I don't get the sense in North Asia, or in fact anywhere else, that weaker demand is likely to be a major issue. Geopolitics, also a big focus of discussion, mostly I would say from the risk side, from the concern side, from the perspective of what can go wrong, and certainly all of those things are very relevant. But there's another side to this story about new relationships being forged, other relationships being strengthened, new opportunities opening up, domestic policy, for instance, trying to fill the hole that might be left by changed trading relationships. I think it's important not just to think about the risk, but also think about the opportunity. China's opening, no doubt, has had a huge impact psychologically in terms of thinking about economic activity across North Asia. Views from investors, though, very divided, I would say. Some expecting a really vigorous consumer bounce back this year. Some much more cautious and much more somber's not the right word, more sober at least in terms of thinking about China. Look, I do think we'll get quite a vigorous consumer bounce back. Maybe there's a bit more policy oomph required to give us that, but China does need a good economic year this year, I think, not least to stabilise the housing market and provide a good base for some of the challenges which are coming down the track. And maybe lastly on ESG, Europe, very much the global epicenter, I think, of ESG financing and the ESG push. There was a perception Asia was lagging and a long way behind. It's not lagging anymore. ESG really in every discussion, both from an investor perspective and from a business perspective. Thank you.